How's everybody doing? It is Paul from Magpie 24/7, and yeah, it's that all too familiar feeling of coming on here, of updating the socials, of doing all our normal things, talking to everybody in the comment section after another gut-wrenching, kicking the bollocks type performance from Newcastle, as yet again we go out of the FA Cup, we don't put a fight up, and that is now 9 years since we have beaten a Premier League side in the fucking FA Cup. And I say you couldn't make this up, that was what I was about to say there, but you can, because it's perfectly normal under the stewardship of one Mike Ashley and his ownership of this football club of these 13 plus years, that we don't do anything in the cups and we accept defeats because we say, well, it's okay to lose as long as we don't lose by too many. And as we approach the 93rd minute yesterday, I'm sitting there thinking, on one hand, it was a better second half performance, because undoubtedly it was. But in a game where we don't actually fashion chances and we wait for the opposition to actually present us something, I find it so incredibly frustrating. And then we get to the end of the game, Andy Carroll fluffs his lines big time for the second time during the game. And you've got to pinch yourself and remind yourself, this isn't 2010, it's 2021. This isn't the Andy Carroll of old, this is the Andy Carroll of new, where you sort of sit there and during the game, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, you know what? He'd actually be better at centre-back than he would centre-forward. And with a finish, or an attempted finish like he did in the game, he had the two best chances of the entire game, really. It just backs your argument up, it backs your thought up that it's just like a centre-half being in that position at that stage of the game and fluffing his lines. A centre-forward, a Callum Wilson, if he gets that chance, buries it, he nails it, he smashes it. But of course, where is Callum Wilson? Callum Wilson is at home. And why is he at home? I don't buy this injury bullshit. What I am buying is that Steve Bruce doesn't prioritise this competition. This is not something that he's going to be really judged off by his bosses, by his superiors, by that little absolute shit turd Lee Charnley and skip rat Mike Ashley. They don't care about the cups. He's not going to be judged too heavily. As he has said all along, his remit is to keep Newcastle in the Premier League, and he is prioritising the upcoming make or break 90 down, actually where I'm at right at the moment, down at Sheffield United is a make or break 90, because for all we've said over these past games of, what is it, 7 now, we're about to win, 8 hours of football, 1 goal, and as much as we've said he's got to go, he's fucking got to go if we do not get a result down here on Tuesday against Whipping Boys Sheffield United. And I tell you something, the loser of that match must be feeling it. They must be feeling it big style, because I know Sheffield United and their supporters think the world of Chris Wilder. He's took them from nowhere to somewhere, but they're going to be getting a little bit hot under the collar, no doubt about that. But you can just see it, it's written in the stars. It is set up there for them to go and do a Derby County like they did back in the day. Everybody else is Whipping Boys, but they'll get something on Newcastle. We are the gift that just keeps on giving, let's face it. It's so frustrating, it's unfucking believable. But if it does, there will be Geordies everywhere with cabbages in hand, ready to pounce. And I'll tell you something, if Lee Charnley doesn't react after another defeat, if we lose that game against Sheffield United, which, if you look at the bookies, and how often are they wrong, is a distinct fucking possibility. Cheers, Brucey, you useless twat. Then Steve Bruce has got to fucking go. Hey. As I'm passing the New York Stadium actually at the moment, I've come from the Sheffield side onto the Rotherham side, just passing their ground at the moment. But goodness me, You couldn't make this absolute crap up, but yeah, where do we start? Best place is always the beginning. Team news comes in, and I'm expecting to play. Yes, some changes were expected. You've got to make some changes, but I certainly wasn't expecting the amount of changes that we made, and I certainly wasn't expecting from those players coming out of the team, our more blue chip players, if you like. I didn't expect some of them not to have even travelled, because that tells me straight away everything I need to know about Steve Bruce and his priority in the Cups. The only way he can get, and he'll sit there with a nice shiny big badge on, but I got to the quarterfinals of 2 cup competitions for you bastards. Well, you know, and all that bollocks. But what he fails to fucking understand is the only way we get to quarterfinals if we have the world's most jammiest draws, and even then, because the brand of football we play is absolutely turgid dog shit, we struggle to get past lower league opposition, League 1 opposition, League 2 opposition. We struggle our way, we scrape and claw our way against the likes of West Brom, and it's just not good enough. 9 years, and I know obviously that's not all Steve Bruce before, you know, the Steve Bruce pro people start jumping on top of me like, but it's very much incumbent and very much a sign of the Mike Ashley Newcastle that is a record that stands. Gone are the days when we got the back-to-back finals. Gone are the days we actually give a fuck about the cup competitions. Because every time we come up against a team who can play a little bit of football, who can press, who can ask questions and so forth, we crumble. And yesterday, you know, yeah, they matched Arsenal up. They did for large periods of the game. But that isn't a fact of we've played so well. That was a sign of how badly they were playing, and the players who came in for them, how shit they were doing. You're looking at players in that team, and you're looking at square pegs in round holes once again. You're looking at Jamal Lascelles jumping into somebody after 10-15 minutes and clearly not being fit, which he admitted after the game. And you're sitting there thinking to yourself, well, why, you cabbage-headed bastard, have you included him if he's still suffering the after effects of COVID, if he's not match fit, if he's not going to see the 90 minutes out, or at least 70 or 80 minutes out? He just literally plans for failure. He's happy with failure. He really, really is. You know, you're looking at the rest of the team and you're thinking, aye, yeah, I can see a few, yeah. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, Elliot Anderson, yeah, you've got to sit yourself tight. But and I know he was probably our man of the match yesterday, and he did work his socks off. And I know I've been critical about his finishing, and rightfully fucking so, may I add. But I mean, Andy Carroll was fantastic, but again, should he have been in the team sheet? He is a striker with his goal scoring record. The fact that he's not mobile, being when you're looking at the players around him who can't cross the ball. Why play Andy Carroll, right? Why play him at all if you've not got any fucker in the squad who can cross a ball? It just defies, Bruce Ball defies logic. Now, like I said, I'm not going to knock Andy Carroll's work effort, his heart, his guts, his determination to do well for us. I'm not getting none of that, because it was there in bucket loads. Defensively he had those 2 chances. The first one, he's sitting there and it's crossed and you're like, oh, go on, be grand, it's scored. Oh, fuck, no. And then the second one, you're thinking, I've got the missus beside us saying, you want to get Elliot Anderson on? He'll try more than the rest of these lazy bastards combined. So he comes on and you're thinking, this is it. This is the fairy tale. This is the 90 odd minute. The ball comes in and you're sitting there and you're thinking, just do it. And it drops. And I don't know what Arsenal are doing. They're all over the shop. They're all at sea. and their keeper makes a save. It's not punished. Nobody else is alive in the box, because obviously we're Newcastle United, and to have people jumping to get into the 18-yard box is a criminal bastard offence if you're from Newcastle. And the chance goes begging, and as soon as that whistle was blown, I turned around to the other half and said, another 30 minutes of this shite to stomach, and I can't see us going through now. I says, because we either get the penalties, and I don't think in a month of Sundays that we're going to be able to do anything on fucking penalty kicks. And I'm sitting there thinking extra time. The substitutions they're going to be making, I've made, will, stretch the game, they'll turn it around and they'll pinch it by a few. Now, it turned out it was 2-0. I was fearful of 4, 5s and 6s, prior to kick-off. So, in one respect, it's better than we expected. But a defeat is a defeat. A loser is a loser. And you're sick and tired. It's constantly on Newcastle. And you can say, you can make up and try and literally find the ant's knob in amongst this where the positivities are. But there ain't a great deal. And what there is, it hardly bodes well for attacking, free-flowing football, creating chances, getting players in box, creating chances, scoring goals. It doesn't bode well for that. Positives from the game: Martin Dubravka back in between the sticks and back into the old routine, saving us left, right and centre. He had some fantastic saves, cracking saves, and I do like the fact that when he comes in, I know he has the odd rick now and again, as Darlow does, but his command and his presence is just that, for me, of a first choice keeper. I do really rate Martin Dubravka. I always have. And there's a massive decision now with regards to Sheffield United. Do you stick with Dubravka? Do you bring Carl Darlow back in? It's a big choice. It's a big decision. Both fantastic keepers, don't get me wrong. But I know who my number one is. He's always been my number one since he signed at the club. And I'm not going to change my mind. Darlow is our backup keeper. He's came in and did fantastically well. He's a brilliant number two. He's not my number one. Now, I know that'll be divisive, and I respect if you think you're in the Carl Darlow. I can understand. You've come in, you've got the shirt, you played well, you keep the shirt. But I just think Dubravka is a cut above, a real cut above what Carl Darlow is, and we're going to need some heroic goalkeeping to stay up, my friends. We really fucking are, let's face it. But yeah, definitely a major plus point. Martin Dubravka's back. And we can all be happy about that. The other plus point, clearly, the missus was sitting there going, that Elliot Anderson, he wants to come on. You want to get him on? And I'm sitting there going, he's not the most experienced, love. He's not. And she's like, I don't give a absolute shit. And he came on, and he was a bag of energy, tricks, passion, commitment. He was trying to make things happen. And he did more in his cameo appearance than fucking Joe Linton did in the entire fucking game. Now, I'll get on to big fucking Joe shortly. But yeah, the other next positive is it wasn't on the pitch. And how often can we say that? Because let's face it, there aren't many fucking positives on the pitch because we're fucking shite. But Nick DeMarco was up in the stands. He'd had a meeting with Newcastle. So does that mean the higher ups? Does that mean a Justin Barnes? Does that mean a Mike Ashley? Who knows? And no doubt that some of the finer details will no doubt be leaked over the upcoming days, as it always bloody is, drips and drabs and stuff like that. And whether Nick comes out on Twitter and just leans a little bit. But this comes hot on the back of obviously the cooling in political tensions between Qatar and Saudi Arabia, them dropping each other's legal claims and stuff like that. So it could be massive news, but it could also just be, to tell us that Mike Ashley's a twat. It could be anything, couldn't it? But as Newcastle fans, we're trying to cling on to the positive side, and let's hope that it would be positive news if the reason he's coming for a face-to-face meeting with all the higher ups at Newcastle. And let's hope we get something going on the takeover, because that is the only show in town. That's all we've got to fight for this season, because we're just in a relegation battle. And the takeover is so needed at the club. The club is asphyxiated. It is out for the count. It's another relegation battle, lads and lasses. It's the same shit, different season, constantly. And I think Newcastle fans have had their fucking stomach fill. And all of these so-called pundits, we're the one, the Champions League, and all this sort of things. Well, I've got a news flash for you. I'd like to see just a fucking couple of goals. Never mind out else. Fucking hell. Really pisses me off when people have a go at the Newcastle fans, because there is not a more patient, loyal bunch of fans who are passionate about the fucking club than Newcastle United supporters. Fuck me, a goal! A goal's what we're asking for. Having a go, not even winning. Having a decent go, making a fist of it, having somebody competent as our manager and not an embarrassment and a skid mark on the stain of fucking managerial ways, like Steve fucking Bruce is. Useless, fucking cabbage-eated bastard. You've got players in that team, and I've said it on the last one, I'll say it again. You don't know whether the Championship or lower end Premier League standard, but some of the performances are fucking ghastly. You look at Emil Kraft, I know he's missed a lot of football, I know he's one of the ones who suffered from COVID, but he looks like he's running in concrete boots. Kieran Clark, he got panned off the fucking Chronicle, but he saved us so many times, he played so well. He had that one mistake in stoppage time, and then they literally, will jump on him. It was schoolyard naivety, it was a basic error, don't get me wrong. He comes out, the touch, and what's he got in his boots? Fucking treacle or something, I don't know. But it's a bit of a bastard, and then it's another kick in the nuts because it's the lad who was sent off and then wasn't sent off, wasn't it? Bang, there you go. Now Dubravka could do about it. 2-0, bang, there you go again. But I mean, who knows? In the first and second half, there was an opportunity. Certainly, second half, there was an opportunity to say that we could have done more. We didn't do enough. And again, I've tried to stick up for Joe Linton. I've tried to say, he needs time to adjust, to settle. He's we spent a lot of money on him. You name it, I've said it, believed it, thought it. Everything. I really, really have. And you've always kept thinking there's got to be something in him for 40 million to be spent at Newcastle. I mean, 40 million at other clubs maybe is nought, but 40 million quid at Newcastle, you're thinking there's got to be something there. They've got to have scouted him. They've got to have seen some talent, a player, somebody capable. And you make up excuse, you squint, you look through rose-tinted spectacles, you're like, oh God. And again, the missus is even saying he's useless, eh? What is he? What is he? He can't score. He can't pass. He can't tackle. He won't track back. Got the fucking turning circle of a hippo. And I said before about Kraft having concrete boots on. I tell you what. I don't know what boots he's got in. I really, really fucking don't know what boots they're on. But I just can't take any more of watching him. He's the only fucking Brazilian that I've ever known who doesn't know how to kick a football. Who can't play football. It's as stupid as when Dennis Wise brought them two pricks in as a favour. And I'm sitting there looking, is this something that somebody has done for a favour? Because that's the only other way. Oh, yeah, for me, mate, can we sign this absolute fucking pleb who can't do out? His goals return, he's a £40 million striker allegedly. His goal return is less than Kieran Clark. To the point where during the game, towards the end, I was like, stick Clark up top. Get rid of this useless bastard. I'd have been tempted to put fucking Andy Carroll in defence, Kieran Clark up top, and I'd have subbed Joe Linton off fucking ages ago. Let me tell you that. Useless. Like I say, can't cross, can't shoot, can't tackle, won't run back. Lazy bastard. And, you know, for everybody, oh, don't criticise and blah, blah, he works really. Yeah, he's had 1 or 2 games where he's put a little bit of elbow grease and stuff like that. And it's like, well, congratulations. That is what I expect as a minimum of every single player who pulls on that black and white shirt. I expect them to put a shift in, break sweat, have a go. Don't be a soft bastard. Have some pride in the shirt. And some people are saying, well, he did that. He had a bit of something about him a couple of weeks ago for like, what, maybe 10 or 12 minutes. Fuck off! I want that every game, even if you're having a shit game. And I don't see it. So, all over the pitch, clusterfucks left, right and centre. Lascelles coming off. He's absolutely fucked. He ain't going to be risked or played or be even anywhere near fit to play Sheffield United. So, another player that Bruce has not managed his fitness and everything else, his health right, a la every fucker, it seems. But, you know, it reeks of the situation with ASM, it reeks of the situation with Fraser previously, where he's rushed players back, where he hasn't understood the consequences, and then we missed them for a longer period because of his ineptitude and brain dead actions. So yeah, there'll be no Lascelles. Fernandez was rested, so he'll come back in, no doubt about that. And Clarkia would be asked to play again, but Fabian Schär. So we do at least have a few options, but it's so frustrating. You know, he's been given over £100 million to perk up the attack of Newcastle United, and yeah, we look as if we can't get one up, even if they were in the Playboy Mansion. And that is how limp our attack line looks. Certainly without a certain Callum Wilson, who gives us our only little snippet, our only little bit of chink of light in the armoury. Hopefully he's back. Desperate for him to be back. And with the work we had Andy Carroll put in, I mean, again, I am not expecting Andy Carroll to be able to play 2 games in a matter of a few days, so it would probably come out of the equation, but I'd be tempted just to go 2 up top. You know, really go for it, because we've got to get players in the box or we're not going to score fucking goals. It is as obvious and as straightforward as that. Everybody and the mother can see that we're not being active enough in the box. We're not scoring enough goals. So what does Bruce do? Repeat, which is the definition of insanity, because he expects different results. You know, if you could have got a committed, passionate display of Andy Carroll beside Wilson on Tuesday night, like you got a passionate performance out of him against Arsenal, then you'd be looking at the game and thinking, yeah, that might work. Then you're sitting there thinking, well, we've got Dwight Gale. Dwight Gale should be fresh and fit. I think Dwight Gale is trying to make a move on Mrs. Bruce or something. Because why else? Why else does he get nothing? I thought Dwight Gale yesterday should have started. I would have played Dwight Gale up top over Joe Linton all day fucking long. And I'd have gone for it, and I'd have give Dwight Gale an opportunity. Now either Dwight Gale is off, and that's why he's not playing him. It would be typical Newcastle to sell him to somebody like Fulham who we're up against. Mark my words, typical Newcastle manoeuvre that. Oh, he's made a move on Mrs. Bruce, and Stevie isn't 2 best fucking plays, like, or something, because why else would you not play him? Why would you persevere week in, week out with Joe Linton? Rest him, I plead with you. Rest the Brazilian bastard. Give me a rest from him. Give me a rest from having to watch him fucking play. Dwight Gale's getting nothing. Adds to Gale And that's, oh God, Gale and Wilson up top and really go for it. Because if we can't go for it against Sheffield United, who the fuck else are we going to go for it against? There's nobody worse in the league. They've not won this season. They're shitter than us. No disrespect, Sheffield United, but you are shitter than us. And that takes some going because we are shite. So if Bruce doesn't have the balls to go for it against Sheffield United, if Bruce loses the game against Sheffield United, Lee Charnley needs to step in, man up, grow a set of balls, get them out of his wife's purse and say, Steve Bruce, you're fired, you useless piece of shit. You're worse than Steve McLaren, and that's saying something, and get somebody in sooner rather than later before it's too late and we're down again and any chance of a takeover is up shit creek without a fucking paddle. Huge game coming up. No excuses from it whatsoever. We need to get players in, freshen it up, play our best strength team, cross the fucking ball, and the sooner the likes of ASM are fit, the better. I thought Mickey yesterday was busy, was full of it, effort, desire, want, but the job Steve Bruce is asking him to do is it's ridiculous. It's like asking Andy Carroll to play left back, man. Give over, play players in the right places. And I think, to be fair, Mickey has missed ASM being in that team, and I think ASM coming back in will create more space for Mickey to be able to work in and operate in, and it allows him to play in a different way. It's far better them two playing together, because at the moment defenders, our opposition has to look at the team and think, if we can stop Mickey, we've stopped this lot, because nobody else has any sort of fitness, any sort of engine in them in that middle of the park. Hayden is, he's always a 7 out of 10 plus sort of lad. So he'll continue on. No doubt Matty will come back in, because I think he's the best of what we've got in there at the moment, playing in that central midfield role. Sean it's not his role. It's not his role. He's better off further up, but Bruce won't trust him, won't play him there, so we won't see him up there. But he better get this team selection right against Sheffield United, because if it doesn't go right, he deserves to be shown the door there. Charlie needs to man up, fire the bastard, and tell him you're getting home by yourself. In fact, he can give him my fucking telephone number and I'll fill him in with a few home fucking truths. Calls himself a Geordie. Not through these selections, not through these tactics, not through these shite excuses, time and time and time again. Well, enjoy your remit, Steve, for as long as it lasts. Because either you need to be fired or we'll end up going down. Either which way. Fucking shite. So yeah, relegation battle to look forward to for the rest of the season. Fucking again. Never mind this, well, we're looking for the top 10. Well, then, we tried really hard. I'm sorry, Bruce, you can take your excuse bingo that you probably couldn't even invent yourself, you knobbed off Alan Pardew. Take it, run, jump off a cliff, I don't give a shit. You're a fraud. You're useless. You're fucking this club up more than the fucking owner is. And he's fucked this club up more times than any fucker in the aforementioned Playboy Mansion's been fucked over. Jesus wept. Anyway, just about going to get back. We're going to do the Anyone for Bacon podcast. We'll need a new name for that, hopefully very, very shortly. Suggestions down below are more than fucking welcome. Where we're going to dissect and pick this through. So the podcast will be on the the socials very, very shortly across Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Instagram close to 1,000 followers. We've just passed 2,500 on the second go round on Twitter. Obviously we had the issues early days with the Twitter, and Facebook doing fantastic again. I think we're like 4,250 people on there. So Magpie 24/7 is looking healthy if Newcastle United is not. So again, as always, thank you for your ongoing support, for your ongoing loyalty to the brand and everything else. So yeah, take care, keep it tuned. I'll speak to you later. Hopefully the next view from the van will be positive and we've got 3 points against Sheffield United. It's got to be. Take care, keep it tuned, and I'll speak to you later.